Good morning, bows and bow ties. So, for those of you who are new to my channel, I am the Black Opinionated Woman, also known as B.O.W. or a bow. So, the other day I was on TikTok. I hadn't been on as much, but I did get on, and I saw that apparently Tokyo Toni had a rant. Now, I saw what somebody else replayed, right? I think it might have been Tasha K. Now I don't really listen to a lot of her stuff, but I forgot that I was following her because every once in a while she'll pop up in my feed, and that's fine. And she played, I think it was Tasha K, and she played a little bit of the Tokyo Toni rant about Blue Ivy. I'm not going to play that here. Well, for one, I'm driving. I did not upload the video clip, and I wasn't going to play it anyway. So, in that clip, Tokyo Toni went on about how Blue Ivy basically is around all these dope people and she's dressed a certain kind of way, dancing in a certain kind of way, all these other things. And so I made a TikTok and I said, I'm going to have an unpopular opinion with everyone else. I said, she's not all wrong. And now I explain my reasons because if you look at the comments, people are like, no, she's not. She's this, she's that. I said this, and I've said this in other videos. You can go back on my channel. I said, Beyonce has her child out in this industry. And I was like, and so that's the kind of thing I was talking about in my previous videos. So now in my TikTok, I basically said, Tokyo Toni is not all wrong. Now, I said the part I don't agree with was she was calling Blue Ivy all of these names. She got the B. I'm like, wow, this is somebody's child, right? You don't refer to somebody's, adolescent children with all these ridiculous names. But I understood the sentiment, right? And what she was saying was, you've got this young girl out here on this stage performing and gyrating in front of all of these adults. Now, I have not seen her full performance. I've seen clips of her performance. And do I think she's really bumping and grinding? No. But I understand what she's saying. I feel like it's low level conditioning, right? Like she's around all of these people performing in that way. She sees her mom out there wearing chaps and bodysuits or whatever, like putting her full sexuality on display all the time. And so they have Blue Ivy based off the clips that I've seen. She comes out a lot and she's so, what's the word I want to use? She's like so perfectly done up. She looks great, right? But I look at this young 13-year-old. I think she's 13 now. I think she's around the same age as my daughter. And she's already looking like she's aging. She's a cute girl. Her makeup and everything's flawless, but she's looking closer to like she's 20 versus 13. And so when she said that she has Blue Ivy up on the stage doing all these things, like I understand where she's coming from because I've been calling it out. I'm like, she's got this girl in this industry too much. And everyone's like, oh no, but she gets to dance with her mom, on stage around the world. And I'm like, yes, she gets to dance with her mom, be Beyonce on stage all around the world. But I'm also like, yes, she gets to dance with her mom, be Beyonce on stage all around the world. And I'm like, this 13-year-old is actually, in my opinion, being robbed of being 13. Now, at the end of the day, it's going to sound crazy when I say this, but I don't know if I cared that much. It was just an opinion based off of the kinds of things that we hear and see, right? But she's going to raise her child whatever way she wants. I'm like, if you want your child out here in this industry, it's on you. I just feel bad for these kids when You are put on stage, you come out there in so much makeup. Well, you if you're a performer, you have to wear makeup because you gotta get to be seen. But her face is done up, like everything. She just looks so much older. She's only 13. I remember seeing something online when I guess they had some sort of a, I don't know if it was an award ceremony or something. I think she was getting an award for the Lion King, or I don't know what it was. It was for something. And she was wearing like a little sweetheart, like what do you call it, like neckline dress or whatever. And again, like me personally, I think she looked tasteful. I just think for me, I would want my daughter in that, especially when you have like Holly Weird. It's known for its sexual weirdness. We already She already is putting her child out in the media so much, and so many people are going to ogle this young lady like this. And I feel like, isn't it okay if we protect our children too? Like, what's the rush to get them out on this stage? What's the rush to hurry up and get them one of, I don't even know if it was a Grammy or a Tony. I, it was one of those awards. Get them an award, an Oscar. I don't know. It was one of those in the EGOT category. It was like the Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. It was probably, I don't know what it was. It was one of those awards. And I'm just kind of like, what's the rush? Why can't this girl just be 13, 12, 11 when she first came out on stage or whatever? And to see her having to do all of these dances where she's jerking her body and I'm not, they weren't really sexual, but like she's got to do all this popping and locking for adult content. And when people say, oh no, she's the most protected, I don't think she's being shown that much protection, maybe physical protection. But the fact of the matter is, she's around all of these adults who are doing who knows what on back. I'm not saying she's around them doing these things, but she sees adults on stage bumping and grinding and throwing and popping and locking and all sort of stuff. She's got to watch her mom go out there and sell her sexuality all the time in some chaps and a leotard and booty shorts all the time. Because that's what sells, right? Like, you don't really just see her come out and just stand. And Beyonce's talented. So you don't typically see her just come out and just stand there and just sing. Her performance is a whole sexual, like, extravaganza from what little clips I've seen. And she's super talented. So a lot of people think, oh, it's protection because she's got bodyguards or whatever. Protection is more than just the physical protection. If every day I'm waking up and I'm practicing over and over and over so I can be the best to be on Beyonce's tour, it's different as an adult than it is for a child, which I'm sure she's having a good time. But also they say, like, you don't always know what you're part of too when you're a child. So now she's a better dancer because she's, put in the work. But to see this young lady, she's aging before our eyes. Like, she's not aging like, oh, she's getting older because she's becoming a lady. She's 13, but she's looking like she's 20. And you can't tell me her protection is full on protection. It's not like she can't see. She's got eyes. I'm sure she's witnessed people doing all kinds of things backstage. She's got to watch her mom go out there, cheeks out, you know, TNA out, like doing all these things, bumping and grinding on stage all the time. These other performers who did all kinds of alternative lifestyles, doing who knows what on stage. That's what she sees, and it's a type of conditioning that's happening. And so anyway, when I made the comment that Tokyo Toni is all wrong, so that people wanted to like, oh, like she needs to stop. Tokyo Toni is the biggest abuser. Yes, so she understands what it's like to put your child in certain environments. She's the first one that can say, hey, this isn't good. Now she didn't use these words by saying, hey, I walked this line, this life, maybe not as classy. I see that with earmarks as Beyonce, but I know what it's like when you have your child around certain things. So maybe I'm not saying go do it, but if you're seeing it, and she's saying she's got this young lady out there on stage in front of all these adults, like I get what she's saying. And when you go against the grain, especially for those who are like in that beehive cult, they're like, oh my gosh, no, she looks great. I'm like, would you put your child out there doing that? Is that what you would have your child doing? I know I wouldn't have my child out there doing that. And I'm not a perfect parent. Let's be clear. Well, I could be possibly. I don't know. No, but I'm not a perfect parent, right? But I think about these children who are in these situations, and they are talented, and then their talent. Okay, let me back up for a second. How do I explain this? When your child is good at a sport or they're good at singing or whatever it is, right? And if you have the means, you get them like professional training, right? You get them advanced training, right? And then when you see your child start to excel in whatever their chosen activity is, right? You start to see how, like, wow, this is what it looks like when you put in the work. And when you have hours, like I tell my daughter, it's something I had heard on YouTube a long time ago. It's like you can't compare your beginning to somebody's middle or whatever. And then she's now seeing herself at a certain state, and then she sees people who haven't put in the work, and you can see the difference, right? That's what I'm seeing with Blue Ivy. But what's happening is for her, this is happening on a worldwide, like this is scaling worldwide. And as amazing as it is, it's almost amazing to see, like, not always good, amazing to see that. And a lot of people, they just want to, because they idolize, I don't do idols, I don't do false idols. They idolize Beyonce. They think all of her decisions are golden. So when I say that, Tokyo Toni wasn't all wrong, I should link in that. I gotta find a link to that TikTok, and you guys can go watch it. Watch what I said. It wasn't really that deep. But I tend to agree, if you weed out the noise and all the cussing and the name calling that she had, um, I understand the sentiment. And so a lot of people are like, you should just mind your business. I'm like, I'm allowed to have an opinion. Now, I'm not up in her business. I'm commenting on something I heard someone say. She had a little rant. I'm like, I don't disagree. At the end of the day, I'm not going to like write letters to Beyonce. I'm not going to say, you know, I'm no. I think that girl should come off that stage because, and this is the thing, what is there left for her to achieve, right? She's got all the adoration and adulation from adults, right? Where's that connection with kids, her peers? Where is she going to make that connection with her peers? Her connection is going to be with adults and fame. What is that like? Like, now don't get me wrong, she has had to work hard, and you can see how she's progressed, and she's turned into this cute little performer, right? Beautiful young lady. But when you think about 13-year-olds and the memories, these core memories, right? What's going to happen when this young lady is, I don't know, 21, 25? What's the core memory? What are those core memories of coming through young girlhood to womanhood? What are those core memories like? How do you connect with other kids, right? So, like, when I watch my kids, they come through their journey and their birthday parties and the things they learn in school and all sorts of stuff like that. I feel like that is actually being taken from Blue Ivy. So anyway, I know there's some of you who just joined on late. You'll probably get to go catch the playback on this because I think I've pretty much exhausted this topic. But I basically just said that when Tokyo Toni had her rant, if you weed out the noise of all the cussery and the ratchetness, she wasn't all wrong. And a lot of people can't see the big picture because they're too busy idolizing Beyonce. And when people would say things, whether it's in my comments or other people's comments, they were talking about how like this young lady's protected. I'm like, is she? Is she protected? Because all she's seeing right now is in order to be successful is to get out there on that stage And I better go put on some chaps like my mom and some booty shorts and have all my stuff hanging out. Now, her mom doesn't let her have all her stuff hanging out, but it's coming. We saw a precursor of it when she wore that dress. And I'm like, can't she just be a young girl? So anyway, that's it. For those of you who joined in late, make sure you tell everybody to subscribe to my channel and go watch the replay of this. Watch the whole replay of this. Um, Let me know what your thoughts are on this. I know people are going to get in their feelings, and they are allowed to be in their feelings. I'm not changing my mind, but I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are on this topic. So have a good one. Subscribe to my channel.